Hey guys, how are y'all doing today? I want to check in with you and just see how you're doing in what is the mandatory planning time, right? I mean, you always hear about business and how you're supposed to be a good planner and you got to have a business plan and you have to have your 1 year plan, your 2 year plan, your 3 year plan. Right now, I'm trying to cope with my 3 day plan. And what's even more challenging is what day is it, right? I mean, we don't do good just sitting around and being idle waiting on things, because the entrepreneurial spirit is one where you get up and hustle every day. So the way I'm looking at right now is like it is a mandatory planning and vision time for business. You ain't got nothing better to do, right? I mean, first of all, look, I don't mean to make light of the situation, but I mean to make light in this situation. You know, we got to have a sense of humor. We got to keep our spirits up. We got to stay optimistic. But over my career, I've done a lot of consulting on strategic planning, you know, strategy, goals, objectives, and a lot of times we would go through the motions, right? Because we were having our day-to-day stuff that were actually competing with our long-term planning process. And so we would sit in conference rooms and pound out by the recipe good strategy, good goals, good objectives, and so forth. 6 months later, you could hardly find some of that work, you know, because the day-to-day, what our obligations and duty was every single day was important work too, and it kind of robbed us sometimes from executing long-term strategy. So now I'm kind of thinking about these times that we're in, and I'm looking at it and say, okay, well, the business world is on pause, certainly in slow motion. So what is a constructive thing that an entrepreneur can do with this time? And I think planning is something you can do. I mean, if you look all across the business landscape, I know you've seen these businesses. There are a lot of businesses that get started without proper planning. The American dream gets a hold of you and you're just like so anxious to get started, and you find the location, maybe it wasn't the perfect location, and you're kind of ready but not ready, and you just jump in with both feet and you go. Only to find out a year later, you would have been better served to take your time being more diligent at planning. So what I'm saying to you now is like, what a rare opportunity this is to spend time planning down to the nth degree. We've just pressed pause on the whole business economy. And I can't remember a time when that's happened. I mean, you know, in my business, I always look forward to the holiday season, Christmas time, because it was a rare time when the whole world kind of shut down a little bit. And I felt like I could shut down my whole company for a week. And as an owner, I really got a break then. Because even if when I took vacation, if my employees were still working, in a way, I was still working. So I used to love that little break between Christmas and New Year's because everybody was shut down. Well, now it's kind of the same thing, only it's April and we've got more than a week. So I just want to encourage you to get your planning hat on. You know, you can plan what it's going to be like to rebound and bounce back after all this. You know, you can think through product and service offerings. You can think through things that weren't going well and think about things that you might want to offer in a new economy. So let's use the time effectively, you know, to plan. When I go through strategic planning, I can't say the word, but I could try to do it, all right? But when I start the process of strategic planning, and Lord help me, I've been through some methodologies that date back to the 60s, 70s, 80s, every version that you can kind of think of. I've been through those exercises. I think there's a common denominator through all strategic planning, and I like to simplify it basically. So here's my way to simplify when you strategic plan. What are the things that you were doing now that you want to keep doing? What are some things that you were doing that you think, man, I need to stop doing this? And lastly, what are new things you've never done before that you think you ought to dial into the mix? So what are you doing that you want to keep doing? What have you been doing that's insane and you need to stop? And what new ventures, what new services do you need to launch your business again? So I want to just encourage you. That's all. I just want to be the dude that encourages you on your business walk and tell you to keep fighting. Don't give up. Don't get down and out. Just keep your optimism. There's going to be a rebound. We are going to bounce back. It's going to take time, but let's be constructive right now. Let's plan. Think, right? Just, you're creative. I know you are. That's why you got into business to start with. Just use your creative brain and plan. Y'all hang in there, stay tough, and we will talk to you again soon.